Tonight on To The Point, we're on storm watch.
Tracking severe weather for today as well as heavy rain, a near repeat for tomorrow. What's ahead in the next 24 hours?
People across Northern California are on high alert as rain and flooding inundates communities. Trails and roads turn into rivers, leading to rescues.
People think they can make it through, and they push the limits of their vehicle, and they can't make it through.
And in the Sierra, the snow is coming down, causing tough driving conditions.
Thank you for joining us for To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and tonight we are on storm watch. Right now, millions of people from Sacramento to San Diego are on alert. And this weekend, it really started off the storms with some strong winds and rain. I mean, take a look at this damage. The state's biggest highway shut down Saturday in Klamath, California, after a tree smashed down onto a roadway, making traffic impossible. The Santa Barbara airport closed this morning due to flooding, and then out in Dana Point, recent landslides have many holding their breath as homes now rest on the edge of a cliff. And then check out this video we just got in just a few moments ago from a viewer named Tammy Darling. You can see hail coming down in the Forest Hill area. I mean, it has been very active the past couple hours. So helping you stay informed tonight, we do have team coverage. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen is in the Sierra with travel conditions tonight, as many people are coming home from the holiday weekend, we know. And then we have Alicia Machado in Sacramento County, where 2 people were rescued after being trapped on top of their vehicle. But first, I want to get things over to Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods, tracking the timing of all of this. Monica?
We're still tracking severe weather. In fact, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:45. So just for about the next 15 minutes or so, tracking areas of heavy rain, strong winds, as well as hail that has been anywhere from about pea size to quarter size. You saw those pictures right there. Could see upwards of about an inch or so, as well as some funnel clouds. Here's the line that's been moving through that 80-50 corridor, stretching from Placerville through Forest Hill, even through Blue Canyon. Had some heavy rain coming down in Folsom, and that band just wouldn't go away. Numerous lightning strikes coming in within the last 2 hours or so. As we expand the view, you can see how we'll put this into motion. We still have moisture working its way in off the coast, so we're not quite done with the rain yet. Earlier today, by the way, we had a tornado warning in parts of Butte and Plumas counties that was expired, but that just shows you the active weather that's been moving in from the coast. And again, we're not quite done with this yet. We're going to see some breaks in the action overnight tonight. Periods of some isolated showers coming in, and could be heavy at times. We'll get a break in the weather and a few breaks in the cloud cover, meaning we're right back to the potential of severe weather for our Tuesday, including the risk of thunderstorms, hail, wind, and tornadoes. That'll be late morning through early evening tomorrow. The impacts include flooding, power outages, as well as tree damage. Of course, we're also tracking those conditions in the Sierra. This is the latest look, and we're finally starting to see that snow line come down. We've had chain controls up on 80, not so much on 50, but that winter storm warning still in effect. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Monica, thank you. Right now, Sacramento County is seeing the impacts of this storm system, including flooding, of course. ABC 10's Alicia Machado joins us live from the Slough House area, where a water rescue took place earlier today, Alicia.
Yeah, Alex, that's exactly right. And throughout this area, we have seen a few roads that have been closed due to floodwaters coming over those roadways. It's very important as we get into the night to keep an eye out if you're planning on heading out on the roads for those road closure signs, because just this morning there were 2 people who were in a car. They decided to drive through floodwaters and ended up getting stuck. They needed to be rescued from the top of their car. Take a look.
Kiefer Boulevard in Sacramento County looks more like a river than a road. Floodwaters trapped 2 people in their car Monday morning after they drove through the standing water.
This vehicle was on their way to work, 2 individuals inside. They became overwhelmed by the water.
Sacramento Metro Fire says the car got stuck in about 4 feet of water, and the 2 people made their way onto the roof of the car until they were rescued around 9 a.m. Crews deployed a raft to get the 2 people to safety. Thankfully, no one was injured. Just 1 year ago, floodwaters proved deadly in Sacramento County. 3 people were found dead after the New Year's Eve storms, 2 near Dillard Road and Highway 99, and 1 in Galt. Emergency responders stress the importance of heeding warnings.
Turn around, don't drown. People think they can make it through, and they push the limits of their vehicle, and they can't make it through, and then they require rescue to get out of that situation.
And in Southland Park, a stormwater drainage pipe failed around 6 a.m. Monday morning, leaving behind a large hole on Theo Way. It was quite the shock for some passing by.
I'm very surprised.
Like 9-year-old Dylan.
I've been very curious of what happened, and so I'm glad that the workers are looking at it and see what's going on.
The city of Sacramento says the pipe was about 50 to 60 years old. They are still investigating the cause, but they've done temporary repairs in the meantime.
There's no estimated time for reopening that roadway just yet, but the city tells me that they will have crews return to that area to make some more permanent fixes once this storm passes through. Alex?
All right, Alicia, thank you. Another rescue also happened this morning in El Dorado Hills. The fire department says a man was camping in the Sweetwater Creek area on a trail when the trail turned into a river because of all the heavy rains. They say rushing water caused the man to be pushed into the center of the fast-moving water, and the fire department says the man climbed a tree and then called 911. And with the long holiday weekend, many people were excited for this weekend storm to head out to the snow. And that's exactly where we'll find our Jeannie Nguyen. She's in Nyack tonight with the current conditions and how people are handling all the weather.
Now, we saw a lot of smiling faces here today as people were enjoying the snow that came with this storm. But even with all of the fun, the people we spoke with today say they were prepared to have fun, but also to be safe.
I'm here to play some snow.
It was an early start to the day for Tawasak Pongcharon and his family as they traveled from Benicia to enjoy the snow. But even with all the fun planned, he came prepared knowing a big snowstorm was headed this way.
Take a look all the phone, all the time, what's going on, what happened, and then let's see.
The same goes for Eddie Witherspoon and his youth group as they made the trek all the way from Oakland.
It's good. I'm a little too old for this. I've rolled down and flipped a couple times, but that's enough for me.
But after a few flips and rolls here and there, Witherspoon started to prep his group to get ready to leave.
We're going to try to make some snowmen and then we're out of here.
Well aware of the weather conditions today, Witherspoon says he wasn't willing to risk his group's safety no matter how much fun they were having.
We took the first part so we won't be too far up and we can head out. They're not ready, but I'm the driver and so I'm ready.
And as more families made their way out as the storm started coming in, Witherspoon says safety is his first priority.
If we can't do it, then we're going to try to get some lodging close by.
Caltrans has issued chain controls in some areas of I-80. We have all that information posted on our website at abc10.com.
And we love seeing people have fun, but of course, make sure you stay safe. And our storm coverage, it doesn't stop here. You can stay up to date with all the latest weather information on the ABC 10 app, and it's a great way to stay informed on what's happening right in your area. So don't forget to turn on your notifications. Coming up onto the point, a family demanding answers after their mom was killed in a shopping center. And later, she's only 10 years old, but she's already making her way as a rising star. We want to introduce you to Boss Tootie, Sacramento's newest rising music artist. All right, we are still tracking some active weather. I want to get things straight over to Chief Meteorologist Monica Wood so you know exactly what's happening.
It's been coming and going. Right now, we're hearing some of that heavier rain coming down at the ABC 10 studios. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until 6:45 for El Dorado, Placer, and Nevada counties. We've seen some hail embedded in that, as well as some gusty winds and heavy downpours. You can see the band of rain continuing to pull in from the coast. The good thing about this is we're seeing a lot less lightning strikes still happening in that 80-50 corridor, but for the most part, not quite at the severe level that we've been tracking earlier today. But all that added water is putting a lot of pressure, and so the flood watch continues until Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. Also, that winter storm warning in effect until 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Now, the wind advisory will expire tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Those winds really starting to back off overnight tonight through early tomorrow. As far as our total rainfall, about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. That's just since midnight. Yesterday, we picked up about 1 inch to almost 1.5 inches of rain. So this is a big moisture-laden system. Peak wind gusts today, 30 to 50 plus miles per hour from the coast through the valley and the Sierra. We'll pick up roughly about another 0.3 inches of rain for the valley, closer to about 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch of rain for the foothills, and about 1 inch to 10 inches additional snow coming into the Sierra. This hasn't been the biggest snow producer yet. We have that colder air working in for tonight. That's going to help to bring down that snow level for tomorrow. But with breaks in the sky cover, we'll have the opportunity for thunderstorms again for tomorrow. Really not seeing this wind down until we head deeper into our Wednesday forecast, and then we'll get a break, and then we start tracking this next weather system that'll be due in for the weekend. Here's a look at our regional forecast for the mountains, the hills, and the coast. Just that on and off wet weather pattern in the forecast. And then as we dig deeper into our 10-day outlook, we get a bigger break Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we're right back at it by the end of the weekend.
Still ahead tonight, a family's plea for justice after their mom was killed last week. What we know and what the family wants those responsible to do. Plus, the race to fill a key seat in Congress heats up as we near the California primary. Tonight, the family of a mother killed last week in a shopping center in Sacramento's Pocket neighborhood is pleading with those responsible to turn themselves in. Her family identified her as 26-year-old Chastity Sparkman, who leaves behind just 2 young children. Tonight, Roxana Leah shares their plea for justice.
A slew of emotions hit as this Sacramento family tries to understand how their sister, 26-year-old Chastity Sparkman, was killed on Valentine's Day.
It's especially hard for her kids. My auntie has to sit here and, deal with the mood swings, and she's trying to cope herself, so we're not okay. We're trying to be, but we're not okay.
The shooting happened around 11:30 p.m. Wednesday in the Lake Crest Village shopping center in the Pocket neighborhood. Sparkman's family says from what they know, Chastity was there meeting with her husband when things turned violent.
We want to know the truth, We want an investigation. Justice. We want justice. We want them to turn themselves in. If they had nothing to hide, then they should be able to come forward and clear their name. We're just hurting.
We asked police if she was there meeting her husband. They told us they're actively looking for suspects and don't want to compromise the investigation. As her family searches for answers, they're trying to focus on the lasting memories made with Chastity.
She was a firecracker. She loved everyone. She loved her family. She was very family oriented. If you know my sister, you guys could argue one day and she's gonna call you the next and say, I don't care about you being mad, girl, what you doing?
The mother leaves behind 6-year-old daughter, Princella, and 8-year-old son, Zayani. The family hopes her children can get through it.
That they could just hold on to the memories and the love that their mother has for them. And that God gives them strength to get through it because they're just babies.
Her sisters, parents, and children hope the shooter will come forward and turn themselves in.
It's to do the right thing so we have our closure. She deserves that. She deserves it. She was such a light. She didn't deserve to die the way she died. She didn't deserve it.
And we do want to mention that the family has set up a way to make donations for the children. We will have that link on our website. And the Sacramento Police Department is asking anyone with information about the shooting to give them a call. Now to your voice, your vote tonight ahead of the California primary election in 2 weeks. President Joe Biden says he will visit California this week. The president will be in town starting tomorrow until Thursday, the 22nd, to participate in several political engagements. He will split his time between Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Los Altos Hills. He is expected to deliver remarks in the Los Angeles area on Wednesday. In other election news, the race for one of California's U.S. Senate seats is heating up ahead of the March 5th primary, and this is the seat held by Dianne Feinstein for more than 30 years until her death last September. Now, Governor Newsom appointed LaFonza Butler to fill that seat, and she announced in December she would not seek election. The top 4 candidates will meet again in another televised debate tomorrow, and ABC 10's Luke Cleary spoke to a political analyst about where the race stands.
The first time these 4 candidates met on the debate stage was in January.
Has there really been any change in the race since then? Not so much a change in the race, but a change in tactics, and it's really kind of topsy-turvy.
Political analyst Steve Swat says Democratic U.S. Representative Adam Schiff is leading in the polls, followed by Republican former baseball star Steve Garvey. Schiff's Democratic colleagues in the House, Katie Porter and Barbara Lee, are trailing behind. California's so-called jungle primary makes this interesting.
We are not guaranteed having one Democrat and one Republican in the runoff. It could easily be 2 Democrats, for example, in the runoff.
In other words, the top 2 candidates advance to the general, regardless of party. Swat says Schiff's campaign wants to avoid a runoff against a fellow Democrat. So it's running ads boosting the Republican challenger's profile, thinking he'd be easier to beat in November.
Calling him a Trump voter and very conservative in the hopes that Republicans watching those ads will galvanize behind Garvey and push Garvey to the number 2 spot.
Meanwhile, Katie Porter's campaign is running ads boosting Republican Eric Early in hopes of knocking Steve Garvey out of the number 2 spot.
Very interesting shenanigans going on here, but basically it comes down to the fact that Katie Porter right now is trying desperately to become at least second to make that runoff, and Adam Schiff does not want another Democrat in that runoff.
And here are some key dates to know ahead of the March 5th primary election. This upcoming Tuesday, February 20th, is the last day to register for the primary. Some vote centers will open for early voting starting Saturday, February 24th. And you can find all of this information on abc10.com/election. And coming up tomorrow on To The Point in our continuing election coverage, we sit down with all 6 candidates running for Stockton mayor. And the race could be decided on March 5th if one candidate gets more than 50% of the vote. So you'll hear what they'll do about homelessness and crime tomorrow at 6:30 right here on To The Point. Next, meet Sacramento's newest rising music artist. She's a 10-year-old gaining thousands of views and even winning some awards. Every February, we celebrate Black History Month, and the theme this year is African Americans and the Arts. And it's a real opportunity to highlight African American artists, past, present, and their significant contributions to society. So tonight, ABC 10's John Bartell introduces us to a 10-year-old songwriter who raps about growing up with a biracial family.
She may be just 10 years old, but her lyrics and her beats are gaining traction on YouTube and winning awards.
Boss Tootie, you did that thing, Boss Tootie.
This is Boss Tootie, and she's Sacramento's newest rising music artist.
I am big, strong, independent woman. Blah.
Boss Tootie, aka Tia Olana Young, is in 4th grade, and she raps about a lot of things you would think a 10-year-old should rap about.
Very nice dream, magical, a whole world filled with ice cream.
But one of her latest songs is a little different. She's rapping about her diverse upbringing.
It was inspired by my culture. I'm half black and half Hmong.
As she gets older, Boss Tootie is realizing the importance of embracing and sharing her experience of growing up in a biracial family.
Because she is biracial, so she needs to be a reflection of that.
I am very biracial.
In her music and everything.
Boss Tootie gets a lot of personality from her mom, but her skills in rapping come from her father, Ren Z, who is a rapper himself and a producer.
This is going to create an opportunity for Hmong people to approach her, and it's going to have, in a sense, force her to learn more Hmong to be able to have to engage with her other side.
Boss Tootie and her dad collaborate on all of her songs. She says lyrically, her inspiration comes from the upbringing and how she sees her parents as individuals.
The crazy part is they're both blind, my dad and my mom.
Growing up with biracial and vision-impaired parents, Boss Tootie has gained a unique perspective on life. She's been raised to see the positives in people, no matter who they are, and that shows up in her music.
And I think everybody has some form of a disability, or some form. But I believe when you start up as this quote-unquote person with a non-disability, and you go through something, it humbles you. in your story, it does something to your mind.
Boss Tootie's about to drop her next music video, Sleep All Day, sometime next month. It's about resting and taking care of yourself after working hard. And working hard for your dreams is something that Boss Tootie believes in.
Inspirational note, never give up on your dreams, and you should keep going no matter who puts you down and what puts you down.
Words to live by, Boss Tootie. In Sacramento, I'm John Bartell.
So smart and so young. It's so great to see kids harnessing their creativity at that age. And I just want to say, we love telling your stories and getting to meet you. So if you have something that we should be looking into, make sure you reach out to me and the team. Because remember, people are just strangers we haven't gotten to know yet. So take the time to get to know someone. Have a great night, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.